Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Hoyt and welcome to my first ever video blog. I started a series called Fotog Friday a few months ago where every Friday or every other Friday I post some photography tips and tricks, things that I love and things I've learned over the years, and I found that my posts were getting quite long. So instead of continuing to do them as text and picture posts, I thought, why not try video? It's really easy for me to talk to you like this, as if we're having a conversation, maybe grabbing a cup of coffee or tea in my case, at Starbucks, and just talking about cameras, talking about photography and editing and workflow and posing and all the things that come along with it. So hopefully this is okay. I'd love to hear feedback. Let me know if you enjoyed the video today. So we're just going to give this a try, see how it goes. I want to go back to the basics. I've had a lot of people who have enjoyed Fotog Friday tell me that they're new. They're new to photography. They want to learn more about how a camera works, and they want to know how to take better pictures. So I figured it'd be really great to start from the beginning. Talk about camera settings, talk about how a camera works, how different camera settings affect each other. And then in that way, you can really start to see yourself improve just as you have a better understanding of the basics, how a camera works. So to strip it to the bare minimum, I'm just going to talk about shutter speed today. And I'm not even going to talk about how shutter speed affects your images. I'm going to save that for next video. But for today, I'm going to talk about how shutter speed works inside of your camera. So for purposes of demonstrating, I'm going to actually use a film camera, show you what goes on inside of the camera, and hopefully this will help you better understand shutter speed and how it works. This is an Olympus camera. It was my dad's from the 80s, and he gave it to me when I took my first film photography class. And so I'm going to take you inside and show you what goes on in there. So when you look in here, you actually see that there's a mirror inside. It's important to talk about the mirror even before we talk about shutter speed so you know exactly how a camera is working functionally. So I'm going to turn the camera around. When you look through here, this is the viewfinder, and your eye actually doesn't look straight through because, as you can see here, there's no opening. In order for your eye to see what your lens sees, there's a set of mirrors inside of your camera. So your eye looks through here, and then it bounces off of a mirror right here, sending your sight down, and then bouncing off of this mirror, which then looks out through your lens. So when you hold your camera up to your face, you're seeing exactly what your lens is seeing. It's important to know this because every time you take an image, if you can see here and watch, the mirror flips up and down. The mirror flips up to then expose your film. But there's something else in between there before your film gets exposed, which are curtains, or as I like to call them, shutters. Once the shutters open, then your film is back there, and that's what's getting exposed. For digital cameras, it's a little bit different because obviously you're not working with film. So when your mirror flips up and your shutter curtains move, that's where your sensor is located. And that sensor actually gathers information digitally, and that will take in the information, and that will create a digital image for you. It's easier to start with film because it's easier to understand kind of the fundamentals, and then apply those concepts to digital later. So once we get past the mirror, I'm going to hold up the mirror actually, and I'm going to take another picture for you. This is at 1/2 of a second. So if you look here and watch the shutter curtain opens, and then another one follows and closes it. Like I said, that was 1/2 of a second, so it was pretty slow. I'm going to raise this up to 1/60th of a second. And as you watch here, the curtains are going to move so fast, so probably barely see a difference, but I'll show you anyways. Really fast, really fast, follow each other. I'll go even faster, 1/1000th of a second, and I'll hold up the mirror again so you can see. Super fast, like I couldn't even hear a difference. I'm going to slow it back down and show you one more time what it's like when it's slow, just to help you understand what goes on in there. So open, close. So what's actually happening is there are two curtains side by side. For purposes of illustrating, let's pretend that my face is the film, and the curtains are blocking the film from being exposed to the light. So when you press that shutter, one curtain opens and the other one follows and closes it. The rate at which it opens and closes is your shutter speed, which is done in fractions. So if it's really slow, you can do 3 seconds, 5 seconds, a 1/2 second, a 1/4 of a second. Most of the time you're working a lot faster than that. 1/30th of a second, 1/100th of a second, 1/8000th of a second. The fractions can be all over the place. but it's important to understand that it makes a huge difference in how much light you're letting in to expose your film or to your sensor to make a digital image. So if you have a shutter speed that's 1/2 of a second, the first curtain's going to open, a little pause, a 1/2 a second, and the other one will follow. For a faster shutter speed, the curtains are actually going to move almost together, like 1/100th of a second. As the first curtain starts moving, the second curtain is going to follow, so that it's making a little bit of a space as it follows, still exposing all parts of your image, but they go by so fast that less light is coming in, and therefore having a less exposure or a darker exposure. And the thing that it's important to know is that it really will change your image, which is why it's really important to understand how shutter speed works and what it actually looks like inside of your camera. I really hope this was helpful for you today. Next week we're going to actually show you some images shot at different shutter speeds so that you can see how changing your shutter speed affects your image. I hope this information was helpful for you. I really enjoyed making this video, and I would love some feedback. Let me know what you thought, whether I should stick to text and picture blog posts or whether you enjoyed the video. And also leave a comment. Let me know what other topics you'd like to see covered in Fotog Friday. We're going to stick to the basics for a little while, but then from there we're going to go into lots of other great things as well. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful Friday and a fantastic weekend.
Don't sweat the technique.